Man placed a 500 rupee note into a teacup and gently pressed it down with his finger until the note was fully soaked in the tea. Only then did he lift it with satisfaction. In this way, a brand new bill was transformed into an old, worn-out one. He repeated the process with all the other bills, submerging them in the tea and then using a hairdryer to dry each one individually. These were counterfeit notes that had just been printed, and if they looked too new, they would raise suspicion. To test whether the notes could be used, the two men went to a shop. However, when the shopkeeper took the money, he became very serious. He inspected the bills in his hand and then looked at Tom. At that moment, Tom realized things had gone wrong. Just as he was about to leave, the shopkeeper grabbed him. Jack quickly pulled Tom out of the shop. However, the shopkeeper wasn't about to let them go so easily, and the two men quickly ran into an alley, successfully escaping. To their surprise, their carefully crafted counterfeit money was easily detected. But soon, they figured out a solution. In 2016, India had completely upgraded its currency. The bills were now made with color-shifting ink that changed slightly depending on the angle and lighting. They also had a unique security thread. This was the key to verifying the currency, whether it was a 500 rupee or a 1000 rupee note. Both used special cotton paper that had a different texture from regular paper, which is why it made a crisp sound when folded. The two men quickly began their plan. The first step was to create a template. The notes had extremely fine microprints, and even the world's most advanced scanners couldn't reproduce them perfectly. The only way was to replicate them by hand. Jack, being a renowned artist, excelled at this. He first sketched a draft by hand, then scaled it down to create a printing plate. The second step was paper. To find the right material, they searched through bookstores and second-hand bookstalls every day. After much effort, they finally found paper with a similar texture. However, new problems arose. The paper wasn't thick enough, and the color didn't match. They quickly came up with a solution. By gluing two sheets of paper together, they achieved the correct thickness. The color could be adjusted by bleaching, and they printed both sides of the paper, solving the issue. The third step was the color-shifting ink. Tom had learned printing at a factory since childhood, and with his years of experience, he crafted a nearly perfect color-shifting ink using a metal apparatus. However, replicating the security thread on the notes proved impossible. Fortunately, they discovered that the security thread on the 10 rupee note was identical to the one on the 500 rupee note. This meant that they could simply transfer the security thread from the 10 rupee note onto the counterfeit bills. Finally, to make the bills feel crisp, Tom mixed water and varnish to create a solution, which they evenly applied to the surface of the paper to achieve a realistic texture. The moment of truth arrived. Jack placed a stack of bills into the currency validator, and after a brief moment of scanning, the fake notes passed the machine's verification without detection. If the machine couldn't detect them, they would be even harder to spot with the human eye. With renewed confidence, the two men took the counterfeit bills to a shop to test them.